If you believe in innovation in the US and you think AI, electric vehicles, space technologies, it's really a bet on the future, and a lot of customers are willing to take that bet.
The cost of the driver's time is very high. And so the crossover point when the autonomous vehicle can become a cost-effective substitute for the driver's time is relatively early.
I think the movement towards cleaner tech and e-mobility and cleaner energy is a movement that you can't stop now because it makes good economic sense.
Many countries here in the region are a part of a trade agreement framework, right? So when you negotiate trade agreements, those are the rules, and we all respect those rules.
Does engaging with the US require you to break off all ties with China? And I think the leadership here is saying no.
Business on BBC News.
Live from London, this is BBC News. I'm Samantha Simmons. Israel carries out new extensive strikes on Tehran and Beirut. Iran hits back across the Middle East. More European leaders reject President Trump's demands for help securing the Strait of Hormuz, saying this is not Europe's war.
I'm Sally Bundock. Coming up in business, as oil and gas prices remain high, EU energy ministers thrash out plans to mitigate the impact on European firms and consumers.
Also today, a hospital in Kabul is flattened by an airstrike. The Taliban authorities blame Pakistan. More people are urged to take up the offer of antibiotics to help tackle a meningitis outbreak, which has left 2 students dead in Kent. Hello, welcome to the programme. Israel has carried out new extensive strikes on Tehran and Beirut with retaliatory attacks from Iran, despite calls from Western leaders for de-escalation in the region. Drones and rockets have been launched at the US Embassy in Iraq's capital, Baghdad, in what's been described as the most intense assault since attacks started. Earlier, security sources said drones targeted the city's green zone, where a nearby hotel was hit, sparking a fire. State media in the United Arab Emirates say air traffic has returned to normal after airspace was temporarily closed in response to incoming missile and drone threats from Iran. Meanwhile, large blasts have been reported in the Lebanese capital, while in the south, heavy fighting has been reported between Hezbollah and Israeli troops who have begun a ground incursion. The leaders of Canada, France, Germany, Italy and the UK have all urged Israel and Lebanon to begin negotiating, while the United Nations has warned that civilians in Lebanon are bearing the brunt of the escalating hostilities there.
We remain deeply concerned by the continued escalation of hostilities we're seeing. Peacekeepers continue to report extensive rockets and projectiles fired from Lebanon towards Israel and from Israel towards Lebanon. Extensive airstrikes continue to be reported in Lebanese territory, causing further casualties, displacement and destruction.
Well, let's get the latest with our Middle East correspondent, Yolande Nell, who is in Jerusalem. Yolande, welcome to you. First of all, bring us up to date on the Israeli operations overnight and also Iran targeting Israel with missiles as well.
Yes, so twice since midnight, sirens went off for incoming Iranian missiles.
And security, that the uncertainties of the way the Trump administration makes its foreign policy, makes it very difficult to rely entirely on that administration. And once the war is over, once it's completely done and dusted in a sense, I would think that some of the Gulf Arab states will probably seek to mend fences with Iran and to simply make sure that they don't get caught up in a collateral damage way again.
OK, Ian, really interesting to get your analysis. Thank you very much for joining us. OK, Sally is back with us to bring us up to date on the business news very shortly, talking about the Strait of Hormuz and the huge impact that is, of course, having on oil prices.
Absolutely. And as anyone would expect, and as we've seen since this all began, because of that near closure of that critical waterway, we've got the energy prices, you know, at multi-year highs. So currently, I'm just looking at the price of oil now, and this is trading in Asian time. Brent crude at $104 a barrel. That's a near 4% increase just today. And this has a huge impact on economies globally, but the countries that most rely on that oil and gas coming through that waterway in the Middle East are the Asian countries, so South Korea, Japan, China, whereas Europe's not so dependent. But Europe still, and other countries, the UK and others, are weighing up possible measures and plans and strategies to support businesses and households if this continues. So we're going to look at that in detail in Business Today.
OK, lovely. Thank you very much. Well, Business Today is coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us.